Russell Westbrook and Anthony Davis are showing out in the first week of the season. But in the words of Kevin Durant, who's the real MVP?
After one game, Joel Embiid is apparently headed to the NBA Hall of Fame. And will the Sixers ever free Nerlens Noel? Also, I may have been a little wrong, just a little bit, on Anthony Davis. All that and more in this edition of the NBA Files. Let's ball. And just like that, welcome to another installment of the NBA Files. He's Roy Burton. I'm Kwame Fisher-Jones, broadcasting from 12 East Main Street, Gary's Barbershop here in Maple Shade, New Jersey. We're going to jump right into the Sixers.
Let's do it.
We cover all the NBA, but we're going to jump right into the Sixers and Joel Embiid. I'm not going to ask the question of what you thought of his performance.
Okay.
As I was talking to people in the barbershop, talking to people around the streets, everybody was excited. I go to ESPN.com. He is now the favorite to win Rookie of the Year, as yours truly and you as well predicted if healthy he would be. So the bigger question now, is there a little too much hype around one Joel, the problem?
No.
Not the process. The problem.
The process, Embiid. He's a process. Look, listen,
the problem.
We've been waiting so long for this guy to step on a basketball court and play 5-on-5 basketball against guys who aren't 5'11", and we finally got a chance to see it. I don't know if there can be too much hype for a guy like this. He's a 7'2" guy who can handle the ball, block shots, help out on defense.
He shot 6
pass
for 16.
The ball.
He shot three three-pointers at 7'2".
Got to get him up. Got to get them shots up.
3-pointers.
Got to get them shots up.
That's the problem. He's not Jackson.
I
don't need my 7'2".
He watched enough videos, as he said, of regular white people to get that form down.
I love that quote.
It's the greatest quote ever. It's the greatest
I love that quote. I watch white people to get
regular white people on YouTube. Maybe Ben Simmons needs to watch that. But anyhow, let's get back to.
You gotta take that dig on the. Got to
put the knife in there. But the thing is, like, he gives you so much on the court that I don't know how much hype is too much hype for this guy.
And in full disclosure, there's very few things that I'm wrong about. But there's a plethora of things I'm right about.
Okay.
I told you Joel would start.
You did.
You said he should, but you didn't think they would start
I
said there was no way in hell he was coming out of training camp. Not the way this ticks, and not start.
Right.
Noel's been banished from the facilities, which he should not have been.
That's not entirely true, but continue.
Let's just say Noel is nowhere to be found.
He was at the Wells Fargo Center the other night. We saw him at the Wells Fargo Center the other night.
To Birmingham for treatment. But now, we knew he was going to start. He's not happy about the minutes. He hasn't said it publicly, but he's not happy about the way the minutes were dialed out. 6 for 16 is not something that I think warrants the applause that he's got, the standing room that he's received. It was a decent performance.
20 and 7 in 22 minutes? That doesn't warrant that?
That's like saying the 2016 model, but it's got 100,000 miles on it. It's still got something wrong with it. 22 minutes, that's irrelevant to me.
Okay.
The 6 for 16, I need more rebounds. I need better defense from him, and not just shot blocking, better on-the-ball defense. I was happy with what I saw, but like you said, the bottom line is we waited 2 years for this dude.
Right.
Because we knew he was good. He was picked third in the draft because he knew he was good.
Right.
So I think there should be more criticism of him. I think people should be more critical of it.
What do you expect out of Joel Embiid this year? What's your expectation? If we should criticize a guy for going 20 and 7 in his first basketball game against a really good, defensive center, like Steven Adams is a really physical defensive center. What do you expect out of this guy? Like, what would make you happy? Like, what is in numbers? I guess you're looking at numbers on some aspect. What do you want to see? What do you want to see out of Joel Embiid to say, you know what, this is a good year out of this kid?
I want to see more points in the paint.
Okay.
All right. That was one of the things that stood out to me.
That'd be nice.
And you referenced Steven Adams. He's a physical center. I don't want to say he's cheap. He takes a lot of shots, but he's a strong center.
Right.
I would like to see more points out of paint. Let's jump shooting, which comes from footwork, which comes from fatigue. He's probably tired, which led to more jump shots. I get that. I want to see better rebounding from him, and not so much numbers-wise, but I want to see him get more offensive rebounds. Those are things I want to see that'll happen. Instinctively, you've got a special player.
Right.
There's no doubt in my mind you've got a special player. But we need to not lower the bar and say, oh, my God, he had 22 points. He's a great. No. We don't need, because if we're talking about championship, which is what we should be talking about, if you love, is championships now. We need to hold that standard high.
Right.
That's what I want out of him.
And I think you're going to get that over time because you're going to get more offensive rebounds once the offense stops flowing through him. Because, I mean, they're so Embiid dominant, Embiid needy on the offensive end that, like, you're not going to get offensive rebounds if you're taking shots. I mean, like, you're the one taking 40% of the shots. You're not getting rebounds. So you're going to get those rebounds once Gerald Henderson, once Dario Saric, once the other guys kind of step up and take shots.
Who did you throw there? You tried to sneak that by me. You tried to sneak that by me. Run it by me again.
What, Gerald Henderson?
No,
Dario Saric?
Yeah, who was that? I didn't see him. Did he play?
He did play.
He did play. Okay.
He did play.
Okay. All right. You made an interesting point. How many times did you see Embiid break off the offense and just take a shot?
Oh, he's
quite a few.
He's going to get those shots up.
So I won't say the offense is needy of him. I say for the first time you have a franchise mentality player. Now the talent may not be, but the mentality is there. And
Absolutely.
that's what you'll see in the difference. And that's why when you see Ben Simmons come back, you'll see some bumps in the road, but you'll see a different speed, different tempo, different type of player.
Right.
Moving to the other side.
Yes.
Another guy who I believe has the capabilities of being a franchise player came off the bench. What's going on? What's really good with Jahlil Okafor?
Well,
because he looked horrible.
He looked horrible. He's still kind of getting back into basketball shape. Again, they said initially last year when he first tore the meniscus, it was 6 to 8 week injury. It took him like 30 to 34 weeks to get back on the court.
Another misdiagnosis.
So either a misdiagnosis or maybe he just didn't heal the way they expected, whatever it was. He's still getting into basketball shape, and I think for the foreseeable future, you're going to see him, go from 10 minutes to 14 minutes to 18 minutes. Work him off the bench. He's your second center, your backup center behind Joel Embiid. And then at some point, whenever that is, I'm not sure, Brett Brown will figure out if these two guys can play together.
You threw a Dario Saric reference, and now you threw a Brett Brown figured out reference. You're bugging this morning. You're bugging this morning. I'm disappointed in that for two reasons. A, it puts Okafor in a bad spot, but it puts Saric in a bad spot. He's not a starter. He's not a starter.
No, he's not a starting NBA forward, no.
His confidence, although he's been playing professionally, his confidence is brittle at this point. You have to get him in a position where he's successful. Now, they did a good job in getting Rodriguez here, who, played the point guard position the way it should be played. I think the first bucket of the game was Henderson. It's amazing what a competent point guard can do for a team.
It really is.
What I mean? It's completely different. It's a completely different answer. But that puts two of your better players in a bad spot.
But what are you going to do with Okafor? Like, what is your like? That's Okafor's spot on this team.
Yeah,
he's going to be your backup center. That is.
But he, and I know they overhauled the training department, the training staff, at least twice.
Probably a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, did they miss that injury?
I don't know if he just healed as well as.
He's not healed. He's dragging that leg.
I don't know if
there's no explosion off that right leg.
Yeah.
Look, it's you can't start Saric.
You have to. You don't have a choice.
Bring Orleans back then. Let him come. We sorry. We're gonna work it out. Bring him back.
He's too busy going to concerts.
You're gonna lose. You've lost Michael Carter Williams. You've lost, and this is all under Brett Brown's watch. You've lost so much talent. We'll be right back.
I want to say something really important, but really quick. I'm not going to preach to you, but we did something really special this year. Just show that our generation changed the world. Never happened before. So we absolutely changed the world. We changed the world. So it just goes to show anything is possible. Fight for what's right. Fight for what you believe in. And stay forever young.
Welcome back to the NBA Files. Roy Burton, Kwame Fisher-Jones here from Garrett's Barbershop in Maple Shade, New Jersey. We're a week into the NBA season. We have two guys standing out from the pack in terms of the MVP candidates. Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, both showed out the first week of the NBA season. In your opinion, who was the better player so far?
Wait, hold on. You're going to throw Anthony Davis in the MVP contention?
Anthony Davis, MVP.
What's his team's record?
Anthony, when the guy goes for 50 and 45.
What is his team's record?
Record doesn't matter, man.
It doesn't matter.
Record doesn't matter.
How you going to say MVP? The dude ain't won a game.
Record doesn't matter.
They ain't won a game. Record so matters. You give an MVP award to a 10-win team?
You can't not give an MVP to a guy who went up for 47.
Watch me. Everybody whose team is in the playoffs. Hold on, Anthony Davis.
Here we go.
Look, I was impressed by both performances. I was more impressed by Russell Westbrook's performance in the first game. I thought what he did to the Sixers guards were hilarious.
But you knew that was going to happen.
Not at that
Sergio
level.
Rodriguez waves his hands on defense.
It wasn't Sergio. But you know what? That's not fair to him.
That dude's a turnstile.
That's not fair to him.
Well, he is who he is.
Stauskas and McConnell were horrible.
But you knew that.
No, I didn't know they were. Look, it's one of those things where I paused the game last night because I watched it again last night. And I looked at my father and I said, I don't know if Westbrook is that good.
Yes.
Or Stauskas is that bad.
Yes. The answer is yes to both questions.
Now listen, and we said before, early in the season, or earlier in the show, a few shows back, I said that I needed to see an Allen Iverson type season from Russell Westbrook, where he got up a lot of shots.
Right.
44.
Yeah.
Last night.
Got him up in game 2.
And with Russell, it's funny because there's this thing where when you evaluate a player, you have bad shots and then you have field goal attempts. Allen Iverson used to get a lot of bad shots.
A lot of bad shots.
Kobe had a lot of field goal attempts.
Right.
Russell had a lot of field goal attempts. He's going to have the ball more. He's going to get a lot of activity. So I'm not upset about the 44 shots.
Right.
Big thing with him is turnovers and bad shots. Those are the things. Davis's performance was once generational.
Yeah.
50, and then a couple of hours later, 45. I know it was a couple of days, but 45. That's something that you'll go back and look at when the season's wearing down and say, man, that was an unbelievable performance.
And not to discount what Russell Westbrook did, in the first couple of games of the season, but we kind of knew this was coming, folks. And we said this on the show that Russell Westbrook is probably going to be the leader in the clubhouse when it comes to.
We didn't know it was going to be this good, though.
When it comes to the MVP discussion, though. Like, we knew that he was going to be, I threw out, I think 28, 8 and 8. That was what I expected him to do this year. And so we kind of knew that he was going to come out again with the chip on his shoulder, with something to prove with Durant gone. Put up that performance against the Sixers, and then comes back and then puts up the 44 shots in game 2.
And the reason why I threw Allen Iverson's name out, we'll go back a little bit. If you remember when Allen Iverson's one of the trips to Madison Square Garden, it wasn't his first trip, but he took a trip to Madison Square Garden. He fouled out Scott Brooks, Charlie Ward.
That's right.
And who was the other guard?
It was it Childs?
Yeah, Chris Childs.
Yeah.
Fouled out 3-point guards.
Yeah.
Fouled out 3-point guards in that game. And the Sixers, I think the Sixers actually lost that game.
I think he lost, yeah.
But that's called announcing your presence with authority. Russell announced his presence this season with authority. This is good. And quickly, real quick, I just want to have a side note. Phoenix had a guy, shout out TJ Warren.
Okay.
He went for 30 points. I know a lot of people didn't notice this. He went 14th in that draft that gave us your boy Serge.
Right.
Was a guy I wanted the Sixers to draft, was high on him, had a good in-between game.
Right.
He's a natural scorer, and he's a cat. The Sixers. I just had to throw that out there because as I watch Zach LaVine win slam dunk titles, I watch, T.J. Warren drop 20 points in the ACC and then come back as a 14 pick, give you 30 points against Oak. And I watched Serge do what he did the other night. Disappointment is an understatement.
He's going to have bad games. He's going to have games where the shots.
I want you to remove games from that sentence and say he's going to have bad seasons.
See,
he's going to have bad seasons.
I don't know what that man did to you.
He shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be here. And he's a decent player, but anyway, going back to the point.
Okay.
I completely flew off the handle, but
can we go back to Russell Westbrook for a second? Because I want to ask you a question. Because I want to ask you.
Westbrook had the better performance.
I agree. Well, I think Anthony Davis had the better performance if you just look at pure numbers. But here's the thing about Russell Westbrook.
You're right. Davis did.
Davis did.
I'll admit it on there. I was wrong.
But here's the thing. Can Russell Westbrook do this for 82 games?
Yes.
And I look, we love Russell Westbrook, and he's a tremendous player. He's a ball of energy. The man is. I don't think we've seen an athletic talent like Russell Westbrook in this league, maybe ever, just for what he is, his size, his speed, what he does. It's going to be hard for him to be this good, this dominant. I mean, we'll see this week because they play the Clippers and the Warriors on the road back to back. 82 games of this, though, man.
Yeah, well, he won't play 82 games. He'll play 70 to 75.
Okay, all right.
But to your point, yes, I think he can. Okay. Because he's that type of player. It's the reason why Michael Jordan said, if any player reminds me of my mentality, it's Russell Westbrook.
Right.
It's the reason why Kobe said Russell Westbrook. There's a reason why the NBA players, it's like that real recognize real, and they know Russell is that dude.
Right.
Would Kevin Durant be able to play at that high intensity level?
Right.
Probably not.
Probably not.
He'll be able to do what he can do naturally scoring, but can he step out of his comfort zone and get guys involved who offensively have been putrid throughout their career, and Victor Oladipo? Yes. That's Russell Westbrook. That's why he's special. He's going to do some things this season that we probably haven't seen from the combo guard in a long time.
Right.
And it's going to be fun to watch. But you're right. Anthony Davis had the better performance. And I always get a little excited when guys drop 50 and 40 points without threes.
Yeah.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It gets me giddy.
And he gets assists and he grabs rebounds and there's no one to help him.
Shots.
The second highest scorer on that team right now is Tim Frazier. Like one of the 18 point guards the Sixers trotted through these last 3 years.
I thought he was a cornerback for the Panthers.
Lance Stevenson is probably the second most talented guy on that team.
Don't stop dissing Buddy Hill.
And the most important, the biggest thing Lance Stevenson is known for in his life is blowing in another man's ear. and he's the third best player on that team right now. I mean, this is amazing what he's doing down there.
And they still lost.
They still lost.
They still
lost their first two games.
You don't want to champion a guy that's done it in a losing effort. But 45 points and 50 points, back to back. Quote the great philosopher Drake, back to back. 2 performances is one for the ages. But I don't think he can do it.
I would
over
agree
82 games
because he's never done it before for 82 games.
I don't think he can do it for 8 games.
Well, this run is impressive. I mean, to do this for back to back.
It's more of a jot or a stroll or strut. I wouldn't say it's a run.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. But I mean, this 2-game stroll has been impressive.
And didn't he miss almost an entire season last year?
He missed a fair amount of time.
Okay, so
he missed a fair amount of time.
He's got a little tread left on that tire. He should be okay. So
he should be.
But he can't do it for 82 games. The bigger question is, where do you go from here if you're Davis? Because if that's what you got to do just to be within 6 points of the loss,
right.
Where are you going to get the motivation? What's my motivation going forward from here?
What's going to keep you going in February? When you're 50 games under 500.
Maybe he should request a trade.
Maybe he should.
To Philly.
Let's do it.
For Saric, since you think he's on that level. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the NBA Files here at Garrett's Barbershop, 12 East Main Street, Maple Shade, New Jersey. He's Roy Burton. I'm always Kwame Fisher-Jones. We got brothers mamas coming to their defense now.
What team with this? Oh, the Golden State Warriors again.
Draymond Green, my man
stuff.
Draymond.
Yes.
His mother said, and I want to make sure I read this correctly because I'm not really good with the slang. I don't speak the hip talk. Draymond Green tweets out after a pretty solid performance.
His mom tweets out.
Draymond Green's mother, excuse me. After a pretty solid performance, says, taking Dre out of the plays is not going to get us wins. Didn't know she suited up.
Us.
I said it, Cap, and don't care what y'all think about it. No energy, it's flat, it's broke.
Yes.
Yo, man, why can't the Golden State Warriors get their women to get off social media?
Or
at least go in an alias.
It's hard. I mean, the two most difficult people in a man's life to control.
These comments are not endorsed by Kwame Fisher-Jones. They are solely those of Roy Burton.
Two most difficult women in a man's life to control are their mother and their wife. There's only so much you can do. Their mama and their wife. There's only so much you can do. It's like, Mom, you can say, Mom, please lay off the Twitter, but it happens.
It doesn't.
It happens to the Warriors.
Klay Thompson, Mom, I don't think she has a Twitter account.
I hope not, but we've seen it in other sports, in basketball. We've seen it in other teams all the time.
Basketball,
we've seen it a lot. KJ McDaniels' mom, she went off. It happens. It's hard. I feel bad for Draymond. I don't like the dude, but I feel bad for him.
I really like.
I do not like Draymond Green.
You see this coming.
Yeah.
You see this coming. When we put the rundown together, I really wanted to talk about this. You beat me to it as we put this. You see this coming. You kind of hear it. Mm-hmm. You hear it boiling. You hear the pot clanging against the board.
You hear it.
The article, which he did not earn. He is a better person and player than what that article portrayed him as. And Steve Kerr can kiss his butt from here to across the street. It's on. Mm-hmm. And he blew it. Kerr was out coached late in that series in the NBA Finals. Yep. Tyronn Lue showed him how to coach. Draymond Green peeped it. He watched his dude, Luke Walton, go to Los Angeles. They brought in Kevin Durant, and now they want everybody to take a step back.
Right.
And you got 2 birdies in that house that ain't going back. And Klay Thompson, who last night was the only player that shot over 50%. And Draymond Green, who has no comeback or fallback in him.
Right.
It's coming. This is going to be a Kerr or Green situation.
I'm glad you brought up Luke Walton because he was the guy, you saw from that ESPN article, he was the guy who kind of buffered a lot of that stuff that Draymond Green brings to the team that didn't let boil over before.
Let me ask you a question, because a lot of times this gets lost in coaching. Use the word buffering. I use it dealing with personalities. And I don't like I don't like the phrase difficult personalities. Like in the NFL, they'll say a wide receiver is a diva because he's not, I'll do whatever Jiminy Cricket's got. How important is that in coaching? Dealing with personalities.
It's extremely important in coaching, and even more so, I believe, in basketball, because again, in basketball, again, it's not like baseball. It's not like it's a tight knit environment. You're with these guys all the time, and it's hard to get 15 guys on the same page because you can only put 5 guys on the court at the same time. So you have to manage minutes and egos and things like that, and that's why to have an assistant coach like a Luke Walton is so important, because Steve Kerr can't manage all of those guys himself.
He can't manage any of them.
He can't manage Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala. Like all these guys, as we said before, all these guys are stars. I mean, they're all star players in their own right. They all came up as the best players on their college team. Now you put them in the mix and say, like, look, we need all of you guys to buy in. Everybody's not going to buy in at the same level. So you need a buffer like a Walton, like other guys we've seen around the league.
And Mike Brown ain't that buffer.
To manage those guys, and he's not that guy.
Mike Brown is who they brought in to replace him.
He's not that guy.
Look, and the bigger issue is, and we've covered this ad nauseum, and I want to take a step back from, but I want to just throw it in there. You're asking them to take a step back for a guy who hasn't done it.
Right.
We did it before he got here.
We got jewelry. We all got rings.
Why are you asking me to fall back?
Right.
Look, Draymond is a better dude than what he's being portrayed by in the media.
Well, let me just ask you a question, though. Was there anything in that ESPN article that was incorrect? Like, he is a...
But we're both writers. We know context.
Yeah, I mean, we
context.
understand context, but Draymond Green does kick guys and, kick guys where he shouldn't be kicking guys.
He's aggressive.
He does punch guys. He is difficult to deal with on the team level. Like, you got guys, anonymous and non-anonymous guys, going on record saying Draymond
Klay Thompson
Green,
and Steph Curry did not, though.
No, but I'm saying, but you have guys who were on that team saying, Draymond Green kind of upset the apple cart a couple times last year.
It was Spates who then tried to backtrack off his comments.
He did.
I question the source in those times, but let me say this. He's a by any means type player, and you need those guys to win titles.
You do.
You can win games with the fluffy, we all love you players, but you ain't going to win a title without a nasty, and not nasty in a negative sense, but a by any means
nasty
guy. Yeah, a guy that's going to pump the gas.
Like the Dennis Rodman of those Bulls teams.
Exactly.
Those kind of guys. You got to have that. You have to.
And so he needs that, and the Warriors need that. But it's coming. It's Green or Kerr. It's going to happen.
I don't think it is.
It's going to happen.
You won a title, and then you won 73 games. Like the chemistry there is right. The problem with the Warriors is probably Durant. Durant upsetting the chemistry. You were good without Durant.
Look, you could say that, and I know we got a break, but let me just say this. He was outcoached, and Draymond knows it. We'll be right back.
Every crime has a victim, and every victim needs help. Being violated by a crime can leave you feeling alone in the world. National Center for Victims of Crime can help. Let us be your resource, your support, your guide to rebuilding your life and restoring hope. Yes, you have the ability to recover. Take the first step. Call 1-800-FYI-CALL or visit us at www.ncvc.org.
Welcome back to the NBA Files here in Gary's Barbershop. We got a segment here called Grind or Glory, where the glory goes to players that haven't been talked about, and then grinders are guys that are struggling. As I talked about the subject, you proceeded to throw out Dario Saric as a guy that had a glorious performance.
Tough.
So I'm going to lead off my grinder, the guy that's struggling with Dario. And Dario's been put in a terrible situation.
Yes, he has been.
He's in a terrible spot. He's an international player who needs to build his confidence with a coach that I question. And I don't know how much of this is management coming down and saying, you got to play him. He can't play that much. But look, You ruined Michael Carter Williams. This dude doesn't even look like the same player anymore.
He doesn't.
New Orleans is somewhere Chickies and Pete's, or Rita's, or somewhere chilling in an undisclosed location.
Right.
Probably with Snoop. I don't know. Now you got a guy in Okafor whose injury appears to the eye to be a lot worse than initially diagnosed. Why you got to ruin Serge?
You don't have too many choices. We talked about this off the air. The Sixers don't have Sixers. Like, if you you guys look at the roster right now. The roster composition, in terms of the power forward position, healthy power forward positions, you don't have a lot of options right now. You can start Jeremy Grant.
If you're playing T.J. McConnell and then look at me in my eye and saying I don't have a choice, look, man, you're choosing to put T.J. McConnell on the court.
Okay.
You're choosing to put style. You can't. I'm not a Surge fan.
Clearly.
But he's being put in a bad situation.
I would agree with that.
You're trying to put 15 people in a Corvette. It's not going to work. I want to give a little glory, though.
Okay.
Show a little love to DeMar
DeRozan, okay.
40 and 32.
That's not bad.
And a guy who did it without the three-point shot. So I was impressed by that performance. Kawhi Leonard had a good performance, but DeMar gets that glory of the week. My grinder for the week goes to Dar Serge.
Well, I'll agree with the DeRozan thing because, again, I think he's got the chip on the shoulder as well because he just got that big contract, and it's like, look, you gotta play up, you gotta, quote unquote, earn that money, and so he goes out there, averages 35 the first couple games of the year. And the thing about DeRozan, and I mean, we give him a credit on this show. When you think of the top 5 shooting guards in the NBA, he's on that list, but he doesn't immediately come to mind. Like, he's not
by default, though.
But he doesn't come to mind. You think of, obviously, Harden and Thompson, but after that, it's like, all right, well, he clearly belongs, but no one thinks of DeMar DeRozan as one of the better players in the league, even though he made an All-Star team last year.
Yeah, well, Kenny Anderson made an All-Star team. But some of that is in Toronto, and that's part of the reason. Another guy that I want to throw out there, too, who I ripped a little bit for a bad contract, but has played well so far. It's only been 2 games, over 5 minutes.
Give it up to him.
Harrison Barnes.
That's right.
Harrison Barnes has played well. I don't want to say I'm shocked, but I'm shocked. I'm surprised.
Because that preseason was terrible.
Well, it wasn't just he looked lost. He looked like Serge.
He was lost.
He looked like Serge out there. And, to somehow morph that in, and you got to give a little bit of credit to Rick Carlisle.
Great coach.
It's funny. It's funny how much coaching and knowing how to put a guy in position, Brett Brown, can make players look better, Brett Brown. When you put a guy in a bad position, you take a guy who's already not that good, and it makes him look 10 times worse, Brett Brown. So, it's just amazing. It's baffling to me. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, Harrison Barnes had a good we expect that out of Kawhi Leonard. LaMarcus Aldridge had a good performance. But, yeah, DeMar DeRozan really, really, really stepped up this week. Final buzz that's down on this edition of NBA Files. He's always Roy Burton. I'm Kwame Fisher-Jones, reminding you that while there's no I in team, there's always 2 I's in championship. And if you missed any segment or any portion of this show, just want to relive the magic, go to TheNBAFiles.com. Again, that's TheNBAFiles.com. Until next week, you be easy.